Scorpio, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique, bringing you your October energy forecast. So happy early birthday, because we are going to be jumping into Scorpio season and birthday season towards the end of October, means that you're coming into October in the depths of your darkness, in your dark season. We tend to kind of retreat in our dark season. We are introverted, we are reflective, we are kind of feeling like we're falling apart. We are oversensitive because there is this purge, there is this release that has to happen prior to our birthday. Why? Because our birthday brings us a download of light codes from the sun, giving us our solar return and setting us up for our next natal year. But as we approach our birthday, things are definitely dark, they're heavy, they're weighted, they're depressing. We're literally in a mourning period, and what it is that we're mourning, our disappointments, are things that didn't work out the way that we had want, but mostly we are grieving and mourning the death of ourselves. Of course, our birthday is our renewal point, our resurrection point, our transformation point, but we're just not quite there yet. So coming into October, the sun and Venus are currently in Libran energy, which illuminates our 12th house. The 12th house is endings. It is karma. It is intuition. It is the hidden realm of our unconscious. This is why we're overly sensitive. This is why we're sentimental. This is why we have, old flashbacks of memories coming up, in order for us to release, to purge, to make peace with some of the situations that have taken place and transpired, so that we can leave the emotional baggage behind. We're not bringing that into our brand new natal year. So I am going to recommend that you go onto my YouTube channel, that you listen to October's energy forecast, and that you subscribe to the playlist. I go into depth, into a lot of detail on what each of these astro shifts are going to mean for us as the collective, but it will help you to kind of understand how it's going to impact you in the area of your life a little bit more than what I can offer you in these mini forecasts. I think it would be super beneficial for you to get the greater, grander vision of what October is meant to do for us. And of course, these mini forecasts will focus more on how they are going to activate certain sectors of your life. So right out of the gate on October 2nd, we have Mercury finally going direct in Virgo energy. So Mercury going direct means that our mental plane is going to be a little bit more clear, that we are going to be able to kind of articulate our thoughts, our ideas. But in Virgo energy, we are kind of at the point where we need to bring some of these ideas to life, where we have to kind of create a new realm of goals, of dreams, of visions for ourselves, and actually do what we need to do in the run of our day to start putting the smaller pieces, the smaller details together in order to actually create a foundation for the dreams and visions to be built upon. Now, this is going to be illuminating our 11th house. The 11th house is about connections. It's about network. It's about community, but it's also about hopes and dreams and wishes and vision. Now, the fact that Mercury is going forward, is going direct, we are going to have to wait just a couple of weeks before we're going to gain the kind of clarity that we're hoping for to take place right as that Mercury energy goes direct. However, pay attention to the people coming into your life at this particular point in time, because the 11th house does suggest that we are meeting up with karmic soul family members, being at the right place, being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right kinds of people, the like-minded kind of people that are going to help kind of bring our ideas and this next cycle, this next phase of our lives into fruition. In this 11th house, we are also focused on wishes and hopes and dreams. And as we are kind of in our dark season, sorting out what it is that we no longer feel aligned with, what it is that we no longer want to pour into, this is a perfect time to take a time out and actually get very real with what it is that we want to create for ourselves as we move into this next natal year for ourselves. The 11th house is going to provide us with the opportunity to create a brand new vision, to create a brand new dream, to create a brand new goal, and to refine the visions and dreams that we're still actively in pursuit of. Mercury going direct in Virgo energy will have us a little bit grounded, focused on what it is that we can do in the run of our day, especially in our mental narrative, the kind of narrative that we need to focus in on making sure that we are supporting ourselves, taking care of our mental health, taking care of the tasks and chores that we need to take care of in the run of our day, that will all be contributing and aligning with bringing to life this greater, grander dream and vision. On the 8th, we have Pluto, our ruler, going direct in Capricorn energy. Now, again, please take a listen to the Astro Forecast on my YouTube channel for a little bit more in-depth perspective on what this is going to be. But just as a refresher, Pluto has been in Capricorn energy since 2008, really pushing my Scorpio friends to be a little bit more open and a little bit more communicative and put ourselves out there to share our experience, to share our wisdom, to share our knowledge in order to help other people. Now, Pluto's retrograde over the last 5 months was supposed to illuminate for us in our inner realm, because this is illuminating the third house. This is our mental plane. This is information, communication, and details on where it is that we've been blocking ourselves, where it is that we've been lacking the power and authority to stand in our wisdom and our knowledge and actually speak out on what it is that we have been bouncing around in our inner realm. The third house is very much how we express ourselves. And in Capricorn energy, there's an authoritative energy that we need to boss up and step in as we kind of progress through, I'm going to say, some karmic opportunities to push our careers forward. Now, with this, it means that we are able to kind of speak our mind, speak our piece, bring our ideas to life in a way that is depicted with a lot more confidence and clarity than what it is that we've been able to articulate in the past. So Pluto going direct is really going to inspire us and motivate us to use some of our fears, our phobias, our pain, our trauma, our past experiences in order to kind of push ourselves forward. And again, many of my Scorpio friends just shy away from the spotlight, and our true mission, our true purpose in life is to lead those people going through the darkness, similar to the way that we led ourselves toward the light. Pluto is all about turning pain into power, turning darkness into light. And this is why it's so essential that we kind of boss up and take the spotlight in order to communicate our own experiences so that we can help other people going through similar situations. On the 9th, we have the full moon taking place in Aries. So this is a Mars-ruled full moon, our other co-ruler. And this full moon is going to be the halfway point in this astrological calendar that we jumped in back in the spring in Aries season. Now, I will tell you, this is going to bring to light a lot of anger, a lot of rage, a lot of frustration. This particular Aries moon is sitting very close to Chiron, the wounded healer, and in Aries as well. We are going through a reinvention of self, a rebranding, if you will, but a lot of the repressed emotions, anger, frustration, irritability, not feeling like we have control over our lives, not feeling like we're able to make as much progress as we want, is definitely boiling to the surface in order for us to release it. We are currently about to jump into a brand new natal year where we have brand new wants, needs, and desires that we actually want to see manifest. And there is no way that we're going to bring those elements to life with the kind of anger and frustration, the lower vibrational frequencies of emotions that we're currently holding on to and that we're currently kind of blocking within our physical body. This is going to be a prime opportunity for us to give ourselves permission to let it all out. The full moon in Aries will be highlighting the 6th house for my Scorpio friends, which is our day-to-day life, our health and wellness, where our mind, our body, our soul is concerned. The 6th house is also where it is that we are of service to other people, but where it is that we have to make sure that we're being of service to ourselves first and foremost. This is going to be a great time to kind of release the anger and frustrations that we accumulate moving through our day-to-day life, tending to the mundane tasks and chores, the roles and responsibilities that we kind of have to go through in order to keep everything afloat. The 6th house is naturally ruled over by Virgo energy. So this is basically looking at what it is that isn't working in our lives, what is kind of broken, and where it is that we need to come up with some solutions on how to fix it. Because this 6th house is an earth energy ruled sector of the Zodiac chart, this is going to be a great time to release that anger and frustration on where things aren't working, where we keep running into obstacles and challenges in the run of our day, and to kind kind of release that anger and frustration so that we can start fresh in building a happy, healthy routine for ourselves to move through in the run of our day, making sure that we are taking the time to make sure our mind, our body, our soul is balanced, is whole, is stable. On the 10th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, moving into Libran energy. This, again, will be shining a bright light on the 12th house of hidden realm of emotion, of our unconscious selves, of soul contracts, of our intuition. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane in Libran energy, is trying to find peace and balance within our thoughts, within our narrative, making peace with some of the situations that we did not have control over, that were divinely scripted for our soul's evolvement. The 12th house revolving around soul contracts and karmic lessons, we do have a lot of peace to make with some of the situations that we're having a hard time coming to terms with. This Libran energy, of course, is going to highlight the pain, the trauma, the suffering that we've endured from personal relationships. And as Scorpios, we lose ourselves in relationships, and then we become so consumed with the other people in our lives that when things don't work out, we're really kind of left rebuilding ourselves and re-identifying who it is that we are and who it is that we desire to be. As if that wasn't a tough enough challenge, we tend to hold grudges, hold on, obsess about some of the situations that have taken place in the past. And of course, Mercury moving into Libran energy in this 12th house is going to kind of help us bring things full circle, bring things to an ending, bring things to a closure, and really make peace and find happiness, harmony, stability in our lives once again, preparing us for our new natal year where new soul contracts will be initiated. On the 23rd, it's a huge day. It's a huge day for everyone, but mostly Scorpios. Reason being, first of all, we have 3 different events taking place on the 23rd. We have Saturn going direct in Aquarius, and then we have Venus and the Sun moving into Scorpio energy. But first, Saturn going direct in Aquarius is definitely bringing a little bit of a karmic flair to our realms. Saturn being retrograde over these past couple of months in Aquarian energy should have highlighted for us our home, our family dynamics, and where some boundaries got tested there. Now, there is this overwhelming emphasis on where it is that Scorpios have kind of sacrificed their own wants, needs, and desires for the betterment, for the wellness of the family unit, and where it is that, you know what, maybe things aren't working out so well because we've been doing so much for other people and then neglecting to do what is best for us. So this 4th house is, a brand new foundation. This is focusing in on the mother energy, the inner child energy. And because Saturn brings a little bit of karma and also rules over roles and responsibilities, we are kind of bossing up in the home and in the family dynamic. If that means creating boundaries so that we are pouring just as much into ourselves as we are into those lives of those that we love, then so be it. We do have to really recognize where we have to pull back on trying to save other people and really start saving ourselves. This Saturn energy is going to be bossing us up into a new level of power, of control, of authority, but we really do have to get down to the nitty-gritty on where it is that we have to reorganize and restructure the way that we've been going about taking care of ourselves and taking care of those that we love in the home and in the family dynamic. Just hours later, like I had mentioned, we have Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, and the Sun moving into Scorpio energy. This is where Scorpio season begins, and this particular energy will be moving into the 1st house of self, really trying to bring us Scorpios back to life. This is when we come alive again. This is when we resurrect ourselves. Even if your birthday hasn't happened yet, you will start to feel better. This is really giving us a chance to figure out who it is that we now are, who it is that we desire to be, how it is that we are going to show up in the world, and what it is that we actually desire for ourselves moving into this new natal year. We are definitely going to kind of face some hidden truths that are going to rise to the surface about where it is we've been blocking ourselves from actually moving forward and pursuing the things that we actually are passionate about and actually truly desire. But through the, I'm going to say, shadow realm of our experiences, we we are really going to get down on the nitty-gritty on what it is that we crave in life, setting us up for new visions, new dreams, new goals to pursue as we move into our new natal year. On the 25th, we have the new moon partial solar eclipse taking place at 2 degrees in Scorpio energy. And this is Scorpio's new moon energy. This is our time to really get real, get raw, get vulnerable with ourselves and what it is that we actually want to create, we actually want to experience in our new natal year. The new moon brings to light this eclipse energy, which is karmic in nature. We have to go back to our birthday season around 2021, see what was popping off for us, what was falling apart. We had a continuation of that topics and themes of give and take, of death and rebirth that popped off in May of 2022. And now with this particular eclipse energy, because it is a solar eclipse, we are being gifted. We are being rewarded for our pain, for our suffering. Whatever it is that has been removed and stripped out of our lives has created the space for new elements to be born in. And of course, this particular energy is taking place in our first house of self as well, which means that we are definitely feeling the glow up. We are feeling the empowerment. Now that we have our ruler in a direct position as well, we are ready to do what is necessary in order to transform ourselves, our lives into something that is much more aligned with our soul's mission, with our soul's purpose. This is a great time to get very real with what it is that you've outgrown, what it is that you do not want to experience. And from that, create a list of intentions on what it is that you do want to experience as we move into a brand new solar year. On the 28th, we have Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, and blessings, still in a retrograde, but moving back into Pisces energy. So first of all, Pisces energy is a sister water sign to you, which means that this isn't going to be as abrupt to you as it will be for some other signs. Water signs and are used to actually jumping into the depths and the realms of emotion and intuition. And of course, this particular energy in Pisces is taking us back to 2021, where we've done some very serious soul work, some very serious spiritual practices, and where it is that we did some very deep-seated healing in our soul contracts, in our generational trauma. So Jupiter retrograding in Pisces energy is going to give us an opportunity to reconnect with our higher selves, to refresh and renew our spirituality and our spirit, our soul. We've been exhausted, especially since this spring when Jupiter first moved into Aries. We wanted to jump into new situations. We wanted to bring new chapters to life. And for the most part, we were faced with obstacle after obstacle. We've had to beat ourselves down. We've had to constantly be dealing with the breakdowns and really struggling to await those breakthroughs. Since Jupiter went retrograde in Aries, we kind of have stunted the amount of growth and progress that we're able to take in our exterior realms because we've had to move inward and really see where it is that there's been a huge improvement, a huge growth within who it is that we are, within our identity, within what it is that we actually are passionate about and actually want to pursue as far as our desires, our dreams, and our goals go. Because Jupiter is moving back into Pisces energy, this is going to be illuminating the 5th house for my Scorpio friends. The 5th house is our heart chakra. We need to unpack the wounds, the pain, the trauma that we've been kind of holding on to in our heart space, justifying us kind of building those tall, thick walls around our heart space, thinking that we are protecting ourselves from the outside world and getting hurt and harmed again, when realistically now we're starting to see those walls as a little bit of a prison. We are feeling a disconnect with the people in our lives because of these walls. We are kind of blocking opportunities for romance, for playful energy to kind of come back into our realm. And we're really blocking our creative flow, our creative juices. So having Jupiter kind of move back into this Pisces energy is going to be refreshing in a certain realm of thought, a certain realm of experience, because we are going to get in touch with what it is that we actually dream of, what it is that we actually desire. We are going to feel refreshed and renewed as far as our soul and our spirit goes. And we will get in alignment with the rawness, with the vulnerability that we need to have to let those walls down around our heart space so that we can grow and improve in our lives when Jupiter decides to go direct and we get a redo on bringing some of these elements, these topics and themes to life. On the 29th, we have Mercury moving into Scorpio energy. This is really going to help clean out our headspace. This is going to help us cut the cord with some negative narratives, some old thoughts, some old memories that have been taking up far too much time and space in our mental plane. And of course, starting fresh, we get to actually focus in on what it is that we want to do from here. Mercury being in Scorpio energy is really going to juice up our intuition, allowing ourselves to blend our intuition with our intellect to come up with some really great ideas, some new inspirations, some new motivations as far as implementing some new ideas in our physical realms go. Now, keep in mind that the Scorpio energy will be adding to this first house of self. We are definitely putting ourselves out there in a way that we tend to not want to do. Again, my Scorpio friends like to live in the hidden realms, the shadow realms, and we have a lot to say. We have a lot to speak on. We want to be heard. We want to be seen, and we actually want to bring some of our inner realm thoughts and emotions out to the outer realm and communicate with those that actually need to hear it. So this is definitely going to put us in a position to get in alignment with new ideas, with new passions, with new desires, and actually bring them to life by bringing them through the spoken word, through the written word, by communicating our truest, deepest, darkest desires and actually setting the tone on how we want to see them manifest in our lives. On the 30th, we have Mars, another ruler over the Scorpio energy, the co-ruler, if you will, going retrograde in Gemini energy. Now, this has been a topic and theme that I've been talking about for quite a few months because we will have Mars in this Gemini energy until March of 2023. Now, Mars going retrograde is going to bring up a lot of anger, a lot of irritation, a lot of fears, a lot of phobias within each and every single one of us. Mostly because we are internalizing the energy that usually we would take to actually push ourselves through the obstacles, through the fears in order to achieve our passions, our dreams, our desires out in the external realm. Because this is in Gemini energy, there's a lot of mental health issues, a lot of inner narratives that we will have to kind of float over and sort through, old ideas that we weren't able to bring to life, maybe where it is in our lives that we feel stunted and blocked and challenged in being able to communicate as thoroughly, as confidently, as clearly as we would like. And by the time Mars actually comes out of its retrograde in Gemini, we're going to have a totally different belief system about ourselves, a totally different internalized narrative about what it is that we have to be telling ourselves. And of course, we will be reorganizing and rearranging, recalibrating, and realigning with the ideas that we actually want to bring to life. And when Mars goes direct, we're going to be able to execute that plan, that strategy a lot faster, a lot more efficiently than we've been able to do in the past, because we've been able to cut out the crap, cut out the blockages, and override the programming, override the narrative and fears that are essentially unconsciously blocking us from moving forward. Mars going retrograde in Gemini energy is illuminating the 8th house that Scorpio naturally rules over. This is death, rebirth, resurrection, and transformation. And you best believe that not only are we going to see a death in our internalized narrative, a death in our fears, a death in our phobias, but a death in really kind of seeing where it is that we are physically blocked in life so that we can cut through those particular focuses, those topics and themes, and we can align with what it is that we're actually passionate about, what it is we actually desire, what it is that we actually want to pursue. This is a renewal in physical energy, a renewal in our mental plane. And with that, when Mars comes out of this retrograde, we're going to be able to take action in our physical realms and rearrange the elements that we've identified while Mars was retrograde, blocking us from actually moving forward and seeing a true transformation take place in our physical realms. So some of the messages that I would like to leave you with as you can focus on as we enter into October, first off, is that it feels like because we're in Libra season, we're all very divided anyways. But for my Scorpio friends, being in the pit of the darkness, having to really go through that reprocessing, that reflection, if you will, of the pain, of the trauma, of the suffering, of some of the experiences, especially relationship dynamics that we've had to go through in the past, what it feels like is that we're being torn. We're feeling like we're torn in two different directions. Our heart and our head don't agree. Our inner realm doesn't mirror back what our outer realm is suggesting is possible for us. And our higher self and our ego self are kind of at odds as well. It's important to just lean into this process and let whatever is no longer aligned with you to fall away, so that when your birthday season comes and when you're downloaded with the solar light codes coming in from the sun, you will be able to kind of close the door on the chapters that have run their course, and you're going to be able to align with the new energy, the new inspiration, the new motivation to push you forward. This has a lot to do with some of the ideas that you were kind of debating on bringing to life. But because you're in your dark season, we have the ego more at play, where we're sad, we're, feeling insecure, we're doubting ourselves. And once we move into Scorpio season and we get renewed and we get kind of resurrected in our energy, we will feel a lot more confident and a lot more clear on what it is that we actually want to pursue as far as our dreams and our visions are concerned. What they're saying is that this is a perfect opportunity for us to switch up our perspective. Now, granted, it does feel like things are falling apart. It does feel like we're in a state of sadness, a state of funk. However, the darkness does show us the light. The pain does reveal our greatest power. And I feel that if we were to just stop resisting the uncomfortable feelings that come up when we are in our dark season and we just sit with it, we will have a lot of actual brilliant ideas come to us, some huge amounts of epiphanies where it's going to lead to closure, especially on some painful aspects that have been taking up a lot of time, a lot of space, a lot of energy, not only in our head space, but in our heart space as well. This is a time for us to kind of step back and act as the observer and just kind of see what it is that we have to kind of reprocess in order to allow those emotional bags to be set down and left in the past as we move on and actually enter into a brand new natal year. I feel like this is going to be a very powerful time, a very powerful natal year for my Scorpio friends. It's time for us to really see our strengths, see our talents, see our skills, and stop trying to play small about it. It's time for us to take the spotlight, for us to put ourselves out into the world in a way that we've been shying away from, because we do have a lot of leadership qualities, a lot of energy that would suggest that the wisdom and the knowledge that we've accumulated through our own pain, through our own trauma, can definitely help other people. But we have to be open, we have to be brave, we have to be courageous in order to actually stand out there in the spotlight, to be seen and to be heard. So Scorpio, that's all that I have for you for the month of October. I hope you have a beautiful month, a beautiful birthday, and a beautiful new natal year.